How war works.
That's how war works. Like on the first day, we vaporized 170 young Iranian schoolgirls by bombing an elementary school.
Is the Trump
prevention?
Well, the first thing that he did in getting to office, basically within 30 days, was restarted a bombing campaign that President Biden had prosecuted throughout 2024, that President Trump during the campaign had heavily criticized. Yet as soon as President Trump got into office, he not only restarted that bombing campaign, but escalated it. That was the one in Yemen against the Houthis. It went on for about 5-6 weeks, or entailed hundreds of people who were in Iran as well. That he inherited a presidency where we were not at war with Iran. We are now at war with Iran. We've twice gone to war with Iran.
Indeed, stop, right? For example, Pakistan, India. Pakistan nominated Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize. They said that he specifically played a big role in preventing that conflict. The government, everyone agrees, but he was able to take Maduro out, and Daisy Rodriguez, who's now the vice president, is very, you could say, subordinate or servile, right? 50 million, subordinate or servile, right? 50 million barrels of oil, restricting Cuba, so on and so forth. And so I would disagree that he's a war
concern that I know he loves to cite. India was vehement that he had no role to play of any meaningful kind in mediating that conflict between India and Pakistan.
Like didn't start recently, right? In 1979, Iran kidnapped 66 Americans and held them hostage for over 400 days, right? So
why did they do that?
Happened because the Republic started more there. In 1982, 3 years later specifically, there was the Beirut barracks bombing, which I'm sure you're familiar with, where 242 Americans were. Wait, the last guy, you were also wrong. $200 billion worth of economic damage in reference to the Red Sea, where 1/10 of trade
goes through. Were we at war with Iran throughout the Middle East? You know what President Reagan did in response to that? He said the reason this happened is because we have a military base in Lebanon where we shouldn't be, and he
response, and then we got to stop.
Yeah, there were several wars that President Trump started in Yemen, Venezuela, and Iran. You can say they're just or not, but these wars did not exist.
There was no new wars that were started, right? We have the Abraham Accords, which Trump should have won a Nobel Peace Prize for because it was historic. And then we had something that was foreign policy. And under the Biden administration, we saw the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan, which was really a green light to our anti-Western adversaries, hegemony abroad. Following that, the invasion of Ukraine by Russia. And then we saw Biden trying to re-engage in J.C. Bird. We could maybe use regime. They empowered the Iranian regime diplomatically, financially, which then positioned them for October 7th, and also the Houthis. It is true.
Unlike everybody else on the planet, the last time China fought a war was 1979, and one of the reasons they're displacing the United States and every region was 1979, and one of the reasons they're displacing the United States and every region in the globe, including Latin America and Africa, is because they spend their resources building. Gas prices are so high.
It's still lower than it was under the Biden administration.
No, I'm saying because of this war, President Trump lifted sanctions.
Sometimes taking the case, sometimes not. Subservience literally defined as in a subordinate manner you are controlled by in a very direct way.
You want to set it up so that no, of course I don't mean Jews. There are huge numbers of Jews who oppose Israel.
I'm asking, well, generally when I debate this topic, a lot of people...
Nobody suggests that he's pro-Israel. The reason people talk about the Adelsons is because they gave $300 million to Trump's campaigns, and Trump himself said that every time the Adelsons came to the White House, they didn't ask about the United States, they asked for things for Israel.
Doge, the $215 billion in Doge, maybe we should look at that.
The Israeli people have a higher standard of living than considerably more. Exactly.
Right. So you have Biden's auto pen where he's just signing legislation without actually not knowing what it actually is.
How do you know what
unconstitutionally? You have $400 billion in COVID fraud during the Biden administration. You have Hunter Biden, and I know he's corrupt.
Sure. There's actually a constitutional prohibition on political leaders accepting or receiving gifts from foreign countries because of the obviously or bringing freedom to people. We prop up the worst, most savage dictatorships in Saudi Arabia and Egypt and Bahrain because we don't care about liberating people around the world. We tell other countries, either you get nuclear weapons and we won't mess with you, like North Korea.
So you're looking for the North Korea? You're looking for the North Korea model as well?
The United States has been attacked many times.
So because
can I answer your question?
Yes,
you asked me
please.
A question, just let me answer. The United States has been attacked a lot of Saudi
number
Arabia,
number one is Qatar. Number one is Qatar. Israel's like number 3.
Okay,
great. And so our assets are there defending those countries as well, right?
Stealing of land in Syria and Lebanon, then on to Venezuela, talking about overthrowing the government of Cuba, putting a new regime change in Cuba, and also this war in Iran. Can you really say
intelligence is not being acted upon?
Like President Obama fought a war in Libya for, it lasted about 4 months, 5 months, took out the government. He's a designated terrorist. He was accused of having taken down a plane, a Pan Am jet that killed 260 people, which was one of the reasons why the United States
the same time, I can point to all these things, Venezuela, Maduro being taken out, that were absolutely fantastic. The consistent through all of Trump's presidencies is that it's quick.
The last part of Trump's first term in 2020 was dominated overwhelmingly by the COVID epidemic.
Yeah.
Very severe lockdowns.
Yeah.
He kept Anthony Fauci in place, the COVID infrastructure in place. Do you think his management of COVID was good?
Well, I would not mandate the vax mandate. That nothing that Donald Trump did was ever pushing a vax mandate on the American people.
I mean, there were people, including in the military.
And Biden has not. So here's my question to you. There's only 4 presidents who've been president this century. Who do you think is better than Donald Trump?
I would just say putting the American people first, above the establishment, above global institutions, above the military-industrial complex. We've made the world infuriating. We've driven up gas prices for everybody in the world.
Agreed.
We've destabilized that region. We have no idea what's going to come next.